Hotel World. This your brother Matthew Daniels, aka Ampu, aka the Chosen Few, aka the real bookworm. I'm not a bookworm, I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, world, may your name live on forever, and may your memory never die. Hotel, cheers to that. This is part 2 of Christianity in the Congo and how it destroyed the royal bloodline. If you haven't already, go back and watch part 1 so you can be familiar with what I've already said. And we're gonna jump right into this video, okay? Where was I? Yes. All these, together with Pango, gave the king to understand that Alfonso favored the Christian religion in order to usurp his place, and by means of it would rebel so far as to banish him from the kingdom. The king listened to these stories and deprived the prince of the province he governed. But divine providence, preserving him for a great purpose, upheld his cause by means of certain people, who begged the king not to be moved to anger till he had first examined the proofs of guilt against the prince. So they're basically saying that Pango and his supporters went to the king, now known as Dom João, right? Named after the king of Portugal. Crazy. But they went to the king and they explained to him that his son, his eldest son, Alfonso, now known as Alfonso, only accepted the Christian faith because he wanted to ensure that when the king died, he was going to be the new king, right? And so they were so convincing that the king was like, you know what? It is something about my son Alfonso. He may be trying to usurp the throne. So he removed him from his status as a governor over one of the regions that the king actually ruled in the Kingdom of Congo. So he removed Alfonso from his position and he stripped him of his power. But people that were supportive of Dom Alfonso went to the king and spoke on his behalf to try to get him his governorship back, to have the king reinstate him. Okay, so he says he was especially persuaded to this by the Council of Manisongo, whom we have already said was the first to become a Christian and took the name of Emmanuel, and who happened to be at court at this time. By his skillful reasoning, being also the oldest courtier and lord of that time, and much beloved by the king and people, he got the king to retract the sentence against Dom Alfonso. So the first man that accepted Christianity in the Congo, who was consequently the uncle of the king and the one that converted the king to get converted to Christianity, he spoke on behalf of Dom Alfonso. And he had a lot of rank. For one, he was in the family, he was the uncle of the king, and he was the oldest governor in the region. And he was a wise individual. You know, you would have to expect that. You know what I'm saying? He's so old, he's so wise, he's been around for a while. So the king listened to him. So the king had him denounce his ruling and reinstate Alfonso, the eldest son, to his position as governor over one of the regions in the kingdom. So he was able to get him back reinstated. The king, having afterwards inquired into the actions of his son, and finding the charges against him were false and malicious, restored him to his governorship, commanding him, however, not to proceed with too much rigor against the pagans, whilst exalting the Christian religion. But he, full of love and of the divine spirit, ceased not to spread the gospel faith and to put practice the commandments of God. So the king, when he reinstated him, he was like, look, man, you my eldest son, I'm gonna let you keep ruling the province that you're ruling. But, and they say pagans, I hate that word. He was like, they say that he told them, don't be so hard on the pagans. But basically he was like, hey, don't be so hard on the people that want to continue in their ancestral faith, right? Now you can promote Christianity, but don't promote Christianity as if it's like the best alternative to what they've already been doing. You can't don't demonize what they're doing to prop up Christianity, because that's what a Christian will always do. They'll try to tell you that what you believe is going to get you sent to hell. What you believe is insufficient. What you believe is immaterial. And what you really need is the real belief that they share, right? So they're always, if you ever notice, The conversion process always involves an individual denouncing what you already believe. They have to get you to throw out what you already believe to accept theirs. Theirs is better than yours. And this is what these Portuguese had brainwashed the king into believing. But he tried to tell his son, don't approach it like that, you know, because he probably got converted. You know, hey, it sounded good. They knew it'd be good for trade. He wanted to trade with these people that he never knew before. Maybe if I convert to Christianity, I'll have a leg up and I can trade with them where some of my rivals won't be able to trade with them because I'm a Christian like they're a Christian. But hey, I still hold on to the ancestral faith because they weren't looking at it like you got to throw everything else out to accept their ancestral faith. It's Christianity that's saying that, oh, anything else you're going to get sent to hell if you don't believe in Jesus. They were the ones with that, not the people in the Congo. So he said, therefore his enemies never ceased pouring into the ears of the king all manner of deceit, in order to destroy what this good prince had built up, especially as Manisango was now away governing his own province. Thus it came to pass that there being no one left to defend the Christian laws, the king began to doubt the faith which he had before so warmly embraced, and sent again to recall the prince to court to render account of the revenues received from the province he governed, intending after that to depose him from his governorship. So you see that in the king's old age, he realized that Christianity wasn't all it was cracked up to be. And he realized that these Portuguese and these priests, they were all liars, filthy, dirty liars. So he was ready to denounce the Christian faith. He didn't want to be a Christian no more. And his eldest son, who was supposed to take the throne after him, who was a diehard Christian, he called him to his court so that he could account for the revenues that he had received in his province that was due to the throne, right? But when he came, he was going to depose him and strip him from his governorship, and he was not going to be the next king. Pango was supposed to be the next king. The king realized that this Christianity was not all it was cracked up to be. And so he effectively tried to change his mind at the end of his life to go back to the sacred ways of his ancestors. And his eldest son, who was holding fast to this Christianity, he was finna depose him and let him know that, oh, you're not going to be the next king. Pango is going to be the next king. We're not doing this Christianity thing no more. We can trade with these people, but we're not going to accept their faith. But this is all nonsense. Nonsense, right? So the king was ready to defect. But the prince, enlightened by his good angel and discovering the ambushes of the enemies of God, delayed his departure, and soon his father, already old and infirm, passed away. His mother, however, who always remained firm in the Catholic faith and dearly loving her eldest son, kept the death of the king concealed for 3 days, and, aided by her faithful friends, gave it out that the king had ordered no one to be admitted to him. So the queen knew that the king no longer wanted to be wanted to be a Christian, and she knew that her eldest son Alfonso was not supposed to be the rightful heir, right? But what happened was the king died before Dom Alfonso could come and he could issue his decree in the courts of the royal palace in front of the people. So what she did when he died, she didn't tell anybody that he died. And she made sure that nobody was allowed to come in to see his dead body. And so she sent people to go get her son, and she hid it for 3 days. And she was like, you got to hurry up and get here. You got to hurry up and get here. Because if you don't get here before people find out that he's dead and realize what's really going on, you're not going to be the next king. Pango is going to be the next king. And she loved her eldest son the most, and she was still a Christian. So she worked with manipulation to disregard the wishes of the king, her husband who had just died, to ensure that her eldest son would remain on the throne. So again, if Christianity is so pure and holy and blessing your heart and rising you up to a state of morality that nobody else in the world can actually reach, why are all these Christians using deception? Why is it deception? If this is what God really wanted for the people of the Congo, why are you working with deception to make it happen? What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? You got to look at it. Just look at the story for what it is. Sometimes when you look into history, you have to just put your belief to the side and just see what's going on. I'm not saying all Christians, but these Christians are treacherous. These Christians are a detriment to the kingdom. They already are destabilizing the kingdom, right? In the few years that they've been here, they're already destabilizing the kingdom. They're destabilizing the regions. They're making people that was loyal be unloyal, right? And what you're going to see is they started enslaving people too, right? I'm going to get into that later, but I have actual letters that Dom Alfonso, right? He actually was writing to the Pope, that he was writing to the King of Portugal, begging them to stop enslaving his people. Instead of going to war, handling his business, kicking their butt, he was begging them, because he already was mentally gone, mentally brainwashed. You need to stop taking all these slaves. And he tried to do what he could do to stop it, but he didn't try hard enough, right? And I take stuff like that kind of personal now, because now that I realize the majority of my DNA comes from that region, right? I'm only left to wonder, is the reason I'm here because those Portuguese Christians was allowed to come into the land and infect them with Christianity, and it's Congo in the state that is in, because these Portuguese Christians came in there. Yeah, we know about what King Leopold did. But that was in the 1800s. That was after the region was already destabilized by the Portuguese Christians, family. Right? That was after the royal bloodline was already destroyed, family. It was a domino effect. Am I in the Americas because of these Christian Portuguese? Did the empire fall because of these Christian Portuguese? You doggone right. I take that personally, right? I take that personally because I have my history right here in America, right? But we all know about slavery. You know what I'm saying? Let's not play games. We all know about the transatlantic slave trade. And so now that I've traced my DNA back to the Kingdom of Congo, this is my history too. My bloodline was there when these events was taking place. And so now I'm here. My bloodline was there when these events was taking place, but now I'm here. And I see this guy, Dom Alfonso, wanting to be a Christian, working hand in hand with the people who was doing the majority of the slave trading over there. So did my ancestors come here directly because of those Portuguese Christians? You feel me? So I'm putting this story out there because I like history and I want to share that history with y'all, but you got to understand, this is when I read this history, it's kind of personal to me as well, because it's my history. It's like you, wherever you from, right? Wherever your people are originally from, if your bloodline was there when something was going on, you got to be like, damn, man, would life even be what it is if this event wouldn't have took place? If it wasn't for this Jesus guy, if it wasn't for Christianity, if it wasn't for the Portuguese and the Catholic Church, would this even be going on? Would King Leopold have even been able to kill millions of them if the bloodline had never died? But you can't do what ifs. You can only do what is. You can't do what ifs. You can only do what is. Then, and it continued. Then, in a secret manner, she informed her son by runners who, placed at convenient distances like posts, are always ready to carry the commands of the king throughout the kingdom, of the death of his father, and that she would keep it secret till he arrived, begging him to come without delay, and with as great haste as possible to the court. Therefore, by means of these same posts, and being carried by slaves, according to the custom of the country, day and night, in 1 day and 2 nights he accomplished with marvelous speed the journey of 200 miles, and suddenly appeared in the city. Now together with the death of the king was announced the succession to the throne of Dom Alfonso. And I'm gonna stop there for now, because you saw how the king died. The mother used trickery. She didn't tell nobody he died. She didn't tell anybody that Dom Alfonso was not supposed to be the king anymore. Christianity was not supposed to be promoted like it was. And she sent people to come bring Dom Alfonso there, her eldest son there, so that he could attain the throne. So he attained the throne. Now, after he attained the throne, there was a major war fought between him and his younger brother Pango. Now, especially in this record, they view Pango as the aggressor, right? As if he was trying to usurp the throne. But they've already admitted that Pango was actually to be the true ruler, right? As per what the king desired. And Christianity was not supposed to continue on like it did. So you had the Christian son and you had the non-Christian son who honored the deities of the ancestors. After the king died, they used manipulation to put this one on the throne, Alfonso on the throne. Pango tried to make right what his father's wishes were. They went to war. And what I'm going to do in another video, I'm going to explain how that war went. You're going to see how the fighting took place. You're going to see who won. Then we're going to talk about some of the things that Dom Alfonso actually did as king, because he did win the war, right? And then we're going to see successive kings after him until the royal bloodline was actually desecrated. So be on the lookout for part 3, part 4, however many parts I have to do to actually get that story out. Be on the lookout for that. But I wanted to do these first 2 parts right now to get you guys familiar with the story and what I'm actually talking about. Christianity in the Congo and how it destroyed the royal bloodline. If you guys like these videos, right? If you guys like these videos, you guys want to support what I got going on, what I want you guys to do is go to Amazon.com and purchase my books, right? Go to Amazon.com, type in Suicide Note by Matthew Daniels, okay? Type in Thicker Than Water by Matthew Daniels, and I want you to purchase your copy of my book today. You can even purchase the ebook version on Amazon.com, all right? So if you want to support me, if you like what I got going on, just go order one of my books. I'm selling a lot of copies. I'm getting a whole lot of good feedback. People are loving the books. They're loving the material. And I just want to keep growing my brand. I just want to keep growing. I just want to do well in life, just like anybody else. So if you like these videos, you like what I got going on, if you want to support what I got going on, go and order the book. Either order the paperback or order the ebook version, right? Be on the lookout for those next parts. You are going to want to see the conclusion of this tale. This your brother, Matthew Daniels, a.k.a. Ampu, a.k.a. The Chosen Few, a.k.a. The Real Bookworm. I'm not a bookworm, world. I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, may your name live on forever, and may your memory never die. Hotel, peace to that. I'm out.